Hey Ken, how you doing?
Okay.
I can hear you.
All right, good. X, I can hear you too. Just waiting for everyone to come in here. I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic. I'm in my office right now. They finally gave me a computer with a mic and a camera on it. Look at me go. I'll be
Uh,
okay. I'm back. I just needed to get the door closed so we have a little bit of privacy here and make sure my equipment's working. And people will start trickling in here, and we'll start by a few minutes after 3.
yeah.
Okay, I think we'll go ahead and get started. For those who haven't already, especially if you're new, please put your contact information in the chat log. That way, if anyone needs to reach out to you or has any questions about the services that you provide in the community, they'll have a means of reaching you. Appreciate everyone for attending today's meeting. Our speaker for today is going to be Lauren Kotz, and she's going to be speaking on behalf of PORT, which is the post overdose response team for the Marshall and Wetzel County areas of our panhandle. So I'm going to go ahead and relieve myself of the floor. And Lauren, whenever you're ready, go ahead and please tell us a little bit about PORT and what it's about and what you do with PORT.
Okay, I was having technical difficulties. It wasn't coming on. Hi, my name is Lauren Kutz. I work at Youth Services System. I wear many hats in this community. The hat we're going to be speaking about today is the post-overdose response team in Marshall and Wetzel counties. This is not my position. My position is the State Opioid Response Program Administrator. So I oversee both of our SOR programs, and the QRT is one of them. We are in the process of hiring a QRT coordinator. So if you know anyone, we're taking applications. So in the meantime, I'm covering this position, and basically what we do is we respond to overdose calls, working with the different community sectors. So for Marshall County, for example, they have a peer liaison through First Choice Services at Moundsville Police Department. Her name is Nancy Nine. Her and I work very closely together. So she gets the immediate overdose call that there's been an overdose, and then she responds to me, and then we go out within 24 to 72 hours to respond to that. We offer them I don't have one with me, but we have little port bags. They're just like drawstring bags. We put a Narcan in them. We put test strips in them. We put referral information for treatment centers, MAT. I put a business card in there. She puts a business card in there, and we put a Help for West Virginia card in there. So we just give them resources. Sometimes that's all we do is give them the bag. Maybe they're not willing to talk with us. Maybe they're not open to treatment. So we at least give them a bag so that they have some life-saving tools in their hands. What they do with it, hopefully they do the right thing. Sometimes we do get them to agree to treatment. So that's always great when we get folks into treatment, and we have a pretty good success rate with that. Usually if someone says we're ready for treatment, we can get them in within like 24 to 48 hours. So that is a bonus. Some of the other things that we do with PORT, especially in Marshall County, is luckily for us, overdoses are down in our state, which is a huge win. Unfortunately, kind of working ourselves out of business, right? So that's also, it's a good thing realistically. But so one of the other things is we don't always have to respond to overdose calls. So say PD is constantly showing up to Sally Sue and she's got another public intoxication, and we just really know that she needs some help with substance use. So we also can respond to those calls and again try to persuade folks into getting treatment. It's not just overdose calls. Under this QRT grant, the person that we would hire is required to have a West Virginia CBAP PRSS, Peer Recovery Support Specialist credential. So part of the QRT is providing peer services. So it's not just overdose calls. We have great success in Marshall County because they have the First Choice peer. We're not as great in Wetzel County. However, I have a great rapport with the Wetzel County sheriff, and we do get some information from there. We work with the LEPC, and we get calls from the 911. We don't get calls. We get information from the 911 center regarding calls. So just a small example with that was right around Christmas time. It was like briefly after Christmas, I think like maybe a day or two after New Year's. I called the sheriff of Wetzel County and I was like, hey, I just wanted to follow up and see if there were any overdose calls. And he was like, yeah, let me check the records. And there was one. However, it was a 15-year-old at Magnolia High School. I don't serve youth personally. However, I had him contact the school and see if there was any resources I could offer them. So what I did was I connected them with our youth peer specialist that we have at YSS. And I was also able to provide the school with one boxes, which are basically first aid kits. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but they're basically a first aid kit with Narcan in it. They give you CPR mask and gloves. And in case you've never been trained to use Narcan, there's a little tab that you pull down and a video plays teaching you how to use the Narcan. So they installed 4 of them in Magnolia High School, and I supplied the nurses, the superintendents, multiple staff. I took 10 kits of Narcan to Magnolia. So those are just kind of some of the things that we do with Port. I think that about sums it up. Ken, do you have any questions, or does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, let's go and open up the floor for questions. Does anyone have any questions for Lauren? Okay, I do have a question and a comment. We'll start with the question. I know a lot of the police departments that do work directly with peer services, including Marshall and Wheeling as well. One of the things I've been hearing a lot of, and I know our primary objective and concern here is people dealing with addiction-related crises. But we've been also having reports of increased calls for people that were having mental health crises as well. Do you find that the folks at Port, did they get called for those, or are they involved in that? 'Cause I know oftentimes addiction and mental health crises, they go hand in hand. So
Yeah. So oftentimes they are hand in hand. I personally don't get called for just mental health calls. However, there are some things in the works with the Marshall County Sheriffs, because I think those are the people who get the call for the mental hygienes. So there's some partnerships working in the background with that. So I think we'll have a little bit more access to working with folks who need mental hygienes and who have mental health. But as of right now, if Nancy, who is the peer liaison, if she gets a mental health call, she partners with Reynolds Memorial Hospital Emergency Department, and they do hygienes if they need to. They talk about treatment. The case manager for the ER department, JJ, he's wonderful to work with. We've been doing really well there. So we kind of just, it's like a triangle of like partnerships. You know, there's her the liaison, me, the court coordinator, and then there's the case manager at the hospital. So we kind of work hand in hand with each other and getting the appropriate resources to the client, because that's important. You don't want to just hand them a brochure for substance use if they're in psychosis and it really has nothing to do with substance use, right? So we want to assess the situation, we figure out what's best for the client, and we give them appropriate resources.
absolutely. Oh, go ahead, Lauren.
Yeah, and I wanted to say one other thing that I forgot to mention. We have been doing phenomenal work with Kenny, or Ken. I'm sorry, I don't know if you want to go by Kenny, Kenneth, Ken. I always call you
I'm
Ken.
not picky. I'm not.
So we have been doing fantastic work with Kenny. So say for example, we get a call and they're like, Sally Sue overdosed again. She was taken to the emergency room. They found paraphernalia on her. Now they've taken her to the jail. We contact Ken. We're like, Sally Sue's on their way. We're trying to get them into treatment. When they hit the floor, can you make that suggestion? So we have been working really well with Ken, and we've had several referrals that we've had to bring Ken in on. And we have gotten at least 3 people into treatment from incarceration.
I think I've gotten roughly 3 or 4 referrals up for you guys. 2 of them we've either gotten a treatment or it's lined up. Like one gentleman, he got sentenced and it's misdemeanor time, but the judge really hammered him pretty hard, so he won't discharge the sentence till summer. But we have a rehab and everything set up for him if he wishes to continue that pathway. And the other, we got set up for treatment as well. She's actually out on treatment as far as I'm aware. Now, I did have one slip through the cracks. She was unfortunately, while in my hand, she was medically furloughed twice and was stuck in our medical infirmary for issues I can't discuss for obvious reasons. But between that and the furloughs and the fact she bonded out, I was never able to really iron out a solid plan for it. And she had Medicare on top of that. So not very many facilities in the state except Medicare that are inpatient, though I was working with St. Joseph's to work with her. And then the other one, he wasn't interested in treatment. So what are you going to do?
Yeah.
He changed his mind. But yeah, actually, you kind of anticipated me. That was the comment I was going to make, is that the Port folks have been really good. Mrs. Nine, your colleague's been really good about reaching out to me when they're working with someone and they end up in our jail. And that makes a big difference because one, that makes that person feel seen and not forgotten. And I notice these people are more likely to want to follow through with treatment. I can also work again and speak with other peers. So if Mrs. Nine is busy, I can work maybe Mr. Childers or another peer that I'm familiar with, and they can help me in the background and get them set up for treatment. And the way you guys are going about Port in general, I think, is a really great uh, foundation on which other like organizations should work. Like I really liked what you were saying earlier about how you had that 15-year-old who, God bless him, he had a problem, and we were able to get him services that deal directly with youthful folks that are going through, a crisis or going through a problem, and because you had that foreknowledge already. And I think that's definitely what this is about with Reach, and it's definitely what we should be about here in the Panhandle as well, is make sure everyone knows everyone and we're referring people to the right sources and everyone's talking together as a team. So yeah, definitely want to advocate for that. Now, does anyone have any follow-up questions for Lauren about Port?
I don't have a specific, oh, sorry. No,
Go ahead, Kaylee, please.
I don't have a specific question, but it just caught my attention. You mentioned you have a position in your office or in your group for someone who needs a PRSS. I will say I don't work for Jobs and Hope, but I'm an attorney with legal aid for Jobs and Hope participants. And I know they have a lot of people who earn their PRSS or maybe graduates. I don't know if you've ever connected with Jobs and Hope in your region to do any training. Okay. Yeah. So I've had so many clients come through who are working towards that certification, and it's so important. So I wanted to make sure you were able to connect with them, or if you had worked with them.
Yeah, I work very closely with Victoria and Kelly. Those are our two coordinators in our region. We work very closely. And actually, another thing, so yes, we're hiring for a QRT coordinator. And the expectation is that they would get their PRSS within 1 year of being hired. They don't necessarily have to have it to start, but they have to get that West Virginia certification within a year of starting. The other cool thing is, I don't know if you remember a few years ago, it was through workforce development, but there was a program called Project Rebound. And it was a work and learn program. So it was on the job training. And it was for peer coaches. So I am doing that again. However, the only difference is I don't have that workforce grant. So what that did was, my camera's glitching. Can you guys see me? It's glitching out. I don't know what's happening. There it goes. Oh, hold on. Okay, well, let's see. I don't know if it's gonna work. But anyway, I don't have the workforce grant. So the only thing with that is that with that grant, they had work sites that they would place the peer coaches in. So like Catholic Charities, House of Hagar, different churches. So I'm not able to place the peer coaches, but I am training peer coaches for free. It's through the Connecticut Community of Recovery or something. It's CCAR Recovery Coach Academy. The training's free. It's a week long. It's going to be May 4th through the 8th. I'll put that in the chat. Lunch is provided. And if you don't have your PRSS, this will give you 30 credit hours toward your PRSS, which is like basically halfway there. You'd only have to take a few more credits after that to get your PRSS. So if that's something that you could advertise, I can also put the flyer. I think I can put the flyer in the chat too. I'll throw that in there for you guys.
Yeah, I love
it. Is that something that you have to attend in person, or can you attend via virtual?
This one is in person. So we're going to try to do 2 in-persons a year. And then I'm going to see about doing a virtual one so we can kind of get a bigger pool around the state. I just got certified to do this. So this is going to be my very first class and I'm quite nervous. So bear with me. We'll probably offer virtual in the future, but right now I'm just trying to get my bearings with facilitating this first week-long training.
And have you partnered up with Jobs and Hope?
Yes.
To let them know that you're doing this?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, if you could put that in there. I know a couple of people that I'm Carol Shearbaum from Lead Airport Center, by the way. And I was
to meet you.
I was finishing up a client and had to jump in late here. But I know some people that may be interested in that training, or I'm sure I've got some who'll be interested in the virtual. But if you can put that in there, that would be great because it's necessary.
Yes. And it's the foundation. So even if you don't want to get your PRSS, but say you want to go to school at Northern for something in the substance use field, this is a good entry level position to say that you're a certified recovery coach. This is a certification. It's not just like a class. You do get 30 credit hours and then you'll be a certified CCAR recovery coach. And CCAR is also like, it's a huge community. They do webinars. It's a huge pillar. I know it's Connecticut, but they're across the nation. They're like the gold standard of recovery coaching. And the way that our state works is like PRSS is top of the line. They do have a PRSS system, but their recovery coaches are in the emergency department. Their recovery coaches are the gold standard. They're the go-to. They're the boots on the ground. They're the first one people are seeing. So they take being a recovery coach very seriously. So this is a 5-day intensive training, but it's free. Again, lunch is going to be provided. And we're just here to have fun and learn how to be coaches. I'm putting stuff in the chat right now. Give me a second. Putting my contact information in there first. Then let me see if I can share the flyer. Let's see.
And Lauren, if it doesn't let you share the flyer, just email it to me and I'll make sure Jonathan gets a hold of it so he can share it with the entire Reach network and help get the word out as well.
Okay.
My email is in the chat if you want to. And Kaylee, no one's asked me about your showcase, your thing that you did in Kanawha County. But I was
haven't-
just
I need to send that to you. I want to make
Okay.
sure, like I keep some notes and stuff in my PowerPoint notes, and I can't send those because I don't want people to take it as legal advice. But I need to get some materials over to you. I promise there's a sticky note on my desk for it.
Okay.
I'll send as much as I can over.
All right. No worries.
Now I'm also doing a training, a new one, for me next month with the Division of Rehabilitative Services. I don't know if anybody attends their trainings. I've been asked to do one about background checks and what shows up on a background check and how to approach that with prospective employees and things. So I'm sure I'll be at some more Reach meetings before then, but that'll be a new one. And I didn't know if there's any crossover with that. I'm trying to pull up. I was speaking with Richard Ward.
We've had
About
him present
training.
before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he says he has a group mainly from his department, but they meet and do trainings too. So that should be an interesting one. He said he was going to send it out to a wider variety of networks because there's so much crossover with what people need to do at a job interview and what to disclose and what not. So that'll be a fun kind of twist on some expungement-ish stuff. But that Kanawha one was really fun. We had a big
It
group.
was.
Hopefully it was beneficial. But we'll see how the next one goes.
On that note, next month, I think about the 15th, the Reach initiative has hired another person to take my spot on the reentry councils. So I'm going to do a soft handoff with them, and then I won't be on here as much as I am now. They'll be taking over the reentry councils, and I'll be doing mostly navigation, reentry navigation after that. But if you guys need anything, you can still reach out to my email, and I'll pass it along to our new community engagement specialist.
Best wishes.
Thank you. I do navigator train. I'm navigator right now. It's just I have to do both the reentry councils and the reentry navigation. So it's kind of like taking a little bit off my workload.
That's good. That's good. Sounds like it's gonna make things a little easier. All right. Now, does anyone have any other questions for Lauren or any announcements they wish to make?
I do have some announcements to share with the Reentry group. So we held a second chance employer luncheon and recovery ready community. We had Philip, I forget his last name. He's from North Carolina. He's like top tier, been nominated and voted for like many things. And he's great with his reentry folks down in North Carolina. We had him come and he did a presentation. Through that, we created a subgroup. So I put my email in the chat. If you're interested in being in this subgroup for the Northern Panhandle, we are looking to move from recovery friendly to recovery ready. There's a difference between friendly and ready. Friendly is like, we like the idea of recovery, but like ready is, are we letting folks go to meetings? Are we having a community that is adherent to like not public drinking, destigmatizing, like breaking stigma, community awareness, things like that. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and email me. And then I don't know if this is relevant or not, but September 24th is going to be Save a Life Day. We coordinate efforts up here in the Northern Panhandle. I believe we're going to have 9 sites up here in the Northern Panhandle this year. There's going to be 4 in Brooke, 2 in Hancock, 1 in Marshall, 1 in Ohio, and 1 in Wetzel. So we're excited for that. So we'll need volunteers and coaches or PRSSs for the volunteer sites, and anyone who wants to volunteer, we'll have information out for that. And then the other thing that I want to announce is traditionally I hold a harm reduction summit every year. But with the political climate, the word harm reduction is kind of taboo at the present time. So we have rebranded ourselves and we are now called, the summit is now called Pathways to Recovery Summit. We are also rebranding. So I have an alliance called the Northern Panhandle Harm Reduction and Recovery Alliance. We have also changed that name. Let me just pull that up real quick and let you know what that is. We do have a Facebook page. We are going to be in the middle of, like I said, rebranding our name. I think we are going with Overdose Prevention and Recovery Alliance. And then, so the summit is going to be, I believe it's September 10th. Let me just double check on that. It will be a small registration fee. Just because my grant does not cover food and we like to provide lunch to our attendees. So the registration fee is usually $35 and we provide lunch and you get CEs. I think we'll be offering 6 CEs for social work, CBAP, nursing, law enforcement, and licensed counseling. So we offer a variety of continuing educations. And yes, the summit is on September 10th. It is from like 8:30. I think registration starts at 8:30. The first session is at 9 o'clock and I think it goes to 4 o'clock. So pretty much a whole day, but there's great speakers. We bring folks from around the state. We bring we give local resources and what's happening in our area. So if you want to come out, we'd love to have you.
And
Right.
can all these like flyers and such be emailed out to us, Ken?
Yes, she actually has the C car right in the chat log. You can
Yeah, I
download it
saw
yourself
that there,
now.
but if you could,
The
but
C
these
card's
other
in
ones
there.
as well, if there's flyers on, if you can send them out to him, it would be great, because I'd like to.
Yeah. So my planning team meets next week, I believe, on Thursday, and I just have to have them okay the save the date flyer for the harm reduction summit. So as soon as I get that approved, I will send that out to Ken, and then we will save a life day kind of. We just started the planning with that, so sometimes it takes a little bit longer. But if you go to SOAR West Virginia, I'll put it in the chat. I believe they have a Facebook page. you can find the information for Save a Life Day, and they do it around the state. We started off with just the first year they did it, it was just a small place in West Virginia, and then it expanded to all of West Virginia. And then we did Appalachia, then we did the Eastern Panhandle. Last year was our first year. We got every state in the United States to do it. So it was just Save a Life Day, world renowned. They do themes every year, and this year is actually focusing on harm reduction. So if you go ahead and check out SOAR West Virginia, you'll get all the information for Save a Life Day. And they do cool cryptid stickers. We put stickers on the boxes. We hand out swag, pins, a lot of cool stuff, really good engagement, really good to get to know your community and partnering organizations and stuff. And it's just a really impactful community event. So I will share that stuff with Ken as it starts coming out.
I'm really glad you shared the date because I usually try to go to 3 counties on Save a Life Day. And sometimes other events get scheduled and I don't know what the date is going to be in advance. So this is very helpful.
Yes,
And I have this on my calendar already. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Very beneficial.
All right. And yeah, when I get those flyers, Lauren, you can send them to me. You can also send them to Mr. Spence directly too. And if I get them first, I'll make sure Jonathan gets them. Wait, the entire Reach organization will be able to send those out as well. We were getting as many people made aware of these programs as possible. Does anyone have
if you send them to me, I'll put them out on the constant contact, and I'll send it to the same email address that is on this Reentry Council meeting. So I'll just use that as the flyer, the list for the addresses that it goes to.
Okay, well, sounds like a plan. Now, does anyone have any other comments or questions for Lauren? Okay, then. Well, I think we had another productive meeting. I'll work on getting a speaker for next month, Jonathan. I don't have one selected just yet. I'm trying to find maybe a resource in Brooke or Hancock County, because I know we haven't had a speaker from that region in a while, and I want to make sure everyone's feeling included here. So I'll try to find a speaker who works in that area that can maybe present for us next month if possible. In the meantime, however, I appreciate everyone for attending and for putting your information in the chat. I'll see you guys next month. And if you guys have any questions for me about Reach, you know how to reach me or Mr. Spence. And if you have any questions regarding inmates here in the jail system, of course, you can reach out to me directly. My information's in the chat. But thank you all for attending. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Thanks, everyone. And I'll see you all later.
Great day, everyone.
Ken, did you see in the chat what I put for you?
I did. It just said it was a direct message. So I assumed I was the
Yeah.
only one able to see it. So
Yeah, so she's a new nonprofit. She's a new 501(c). She does a lot of work with second chance reentry, substance use involvement, CPS involvement. She is it's kind of like wraparound services instead of for children, for adults. So there's like a phase system and wraparound. Like we provide financial assistance, we provide food security, we provide we don't provide transportation, but yet it's right now the nonprofit is solely donation based. She's working on getting some opioid grants. So hopefully she'll be able to provide transportation to like parole appointments, probation officer appointments, court hearings, CPS cases, drug tests, all that. But I can reach out to her and see if she would like to speak to the Reentry Council and just let you guys know what she does. The anchor, which is the building, is in Wellsburg. So she serves Brooke, Hancock. She serves all of the Northern Panhandle, and she also has licensure in Pennsylvania, and she's working on Ohio. So she's trying to do the whole tri-state. Which is why she doesn't take federal grants, because she doesn't want to be restricted to just West Virginia. She wants to help, because so oftentimes we have someone come across the bridge, they're like, I'm from Ohio and I need help. We're like, we can't help you. So that's why she kind of stays away from federal grants, and we're just donation based right now. But I can hook you up with her. I can send an email doing an introduction.
yes, please do. I sounds like a tremendous resource. I'd like to get to know her better and see if she'd be willing to present. And also just for my own sake, as you know, I'm dealing with people who go on probation all the time. So that sounds like a tremendously useful connection.
Yeah, absolutely. I will be in touch.
All right. Thanks, guys. See y'all later.